Hey, this is Tommy John, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
You can put it on the board. Yes! Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP TV. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops. Wait till you taste their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon. And, of course, the king of all those massive cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had. Probably be the best you ever had as well. Check them out at UppercutChops.com. That's UppercutChops.com. Or give them a call and find out what's for dinner. 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935 for UppercutChops.com.
Hi, is this Rocky?
Oh, hey, that is. Listen, that's Chris Pacelli. Hey, put Chris through.
Chris is through.
Okay.
Chris, identify yourself for the world to listen.
Well, my name's Chris Pacelli from Al's Italian Beef on Taylor Street.
That's right.
In Chicago.
All right, let's give Al's Italian Beef an enormous round of applause. Yes! It's the best damn Italian beef sandwich in the city.
Well, throughout the state, too, and the country.
All right. Well, I will tell everybody more about Al's Italian Beef and where you're at. Everybody wants to hear the story because, everybody I tell, they say, oh, well, Portillo's got a good sandwich. I like Johnny's sandwich, but it's not what Al's has. Al's is a different animal. You guys have been at it for 80 years.
Well, a little longer than that. My grandfather invented it back in 1918. He was a street peddler. And what he did was go to all these construction sites, and he would serve sandwiches. But it wasn't Italian beef. It was like sub-sandwiches. And then, because there was no restaurants in them days, only the rich went to restaurants. And the poor people that had work jobs and construction sites had to rely on lunches that they brought themselves. Or when my grandfather supplied some sandwiches and soda. Anyway, he gets invited to a wedding one day, and they used to have peanut weddings. And what happened at this peanut wedding, they used to serve a roast beef, and they were cutting it with a knife, and they were feeding like maybe 20, 25 people. My grandfather started thinking about, he's a sandwich guy now, and he starts thinking, how could I increase this? So he goes back home, he starts putting spices together, things like that, cooks it up. The next day, it's all cooled down, he trims it, takes all the fat off and everything, and since he had sandwiches, he had a slicer, so he started slicing everything paper thin, where you could almost see through it.
Right.
And he presented it to the party. And from feeding 25 people, went to 50 people. Same cost, same everything. So that's how that started. And he kept that tradition up until around 1938 when my uncle opened it as a front for a bookie place.
All right, let's give him a big round of applause for that. Hey, the bookie places are still in business.
You guys will appreciate that.
Yes.
It was a little bit before Las Vegas.
That's right. We had our own Vegas back in Chicago on Taylor Street, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I try to tell this guy Tommy that. Listen, Chris, I try to tell Tommy that. He goes, well, this was, he was making an example of of betting and so forth, and sports betting and this and that. I mean, the NFL was founded on that 100 years ago. But I said, listen, man, everybody in the Italian neighborhoods had a casino in their basement.
Oh, yeah, or a dice game, one or the other.
Exactly. There's always a dice game or a card game, wasn't there?
Well, you're right. There was. And we used to, by the handball courts, there was always dice games in the back and by the, where there's a place called the Rosebud today, cafe.
I know the Rosebud, of course.
Italian restaurant.
That's good food.
And behind there used to be, before they had that, behind there was a place where everybody used to gamble. It was called Garibaldi Square, and that was like Taylor and Ashland at the time. Mm-hmm. And that was just one of the places. Then there was Sheridan Park, and there was a lot of places that did a lot of dice.
Hey, I remember. Listen, Chris, I remember a dice game over at Western and Harrison. You know, my old man was from that neighborhood.
Well, sure. That's where my uncle used to go to. There was, Luca Bakery.
Yeah, and over at the Rosary Florist, too. Remember the Rosary Florist?
Yes, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
It's on the west side of the street.
Yeah, Taylor and Western. The Italian neighborhood in Chicago actually went from Halsted Street all the way to Cicero Avenue.
Yeah.
At one time. And then Cabrini Green was Italian. You know, a lot of people think it was just a ghetto area, but it wasn't. Yeah, at one time it was a big Italian area.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Well, anyway, I mean, you know, then what my uncle did with so a lot of his friends, that's all they were gamblers. So they started opening up these places because it looked like a good place for revenue. You know what I mean?
Right. So they can eat a sandwich.
That's how the Italian beef stand started in Chicago.
Yeah, they can eat a sandwich and then go to the dice game in the basement.
Well, they didn't do anything at their own places. They always had them someplace else, like you see in Guys and Dolls.
Hey.
In the stores.
Yeah, hey, listen. So, folks, if you don't know who Chris Pacelli is, look, this guy's been featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives and a bunch of food challenge things on the Food Network and pick your favorite TV show. This guy's been all over the place. Chris, what was your favorite feature out of all of the ones that you've done? Was it with Guy Fieri or was it with somebody else?
Well, I liked it with Adam Richman.
I remember Adam Richman was great he was the Man versus Food. Yeah, he was great. So we'll give Adam a big round of applause.
He did a lot for us. We really liked him. He's a great guy. Knows his products. Knows how to have fun with you. I showed him how to do the Italian stance.
Oh yeah, I saw that episode. Yeah, spread the feet shoulder width, lean over the counter and take a bite so you don't drip it all over your feet.
Put your whole face into
That's it. Dive right into it.
Juices fall on the floor and not on your chest. And I showed him I was eating with a white shirt on.
No, there's a lot of people.
Adam Richard was good. We had Bobby Philly there. I mean, what's the name? Anthony Bardot.
Oh, right. So, Anthony Bourdain guy. You also had. Hey, didn't you also
Bourdain,
have?
Forget my way of talking.
Right. Didn't you have that guy from Andrew Zimmer? Didn't Andrew Zimmer come through there as well?
Andrew Zimmer did it, but he did it by. He wasn't there. We did it by Skype.
Oh.
Yeah. So we still had a good time.
Oh,
we joked around, had a lot of fun. Then we just we did our 80th year anniversary about a month ago, October the 17th.
Wow,
that
that's
was
incredible.
Our 80th year, and all 9 restaurants had lines around the blocks from 11 o'clock in the morning till 7 at night. I finally had to kick everybody out.
Weren't you doing 80-cent beef sandwiches?
We did an 80-cent beef sandwich for our anniversary, right?
Wow, that's incredible.
Which are normally about $6.50 a sandwich, and we went down to 80 cents. We did it for 8 hours. At the end of 8 hours, it felt like 15 hours.
Right. Well,
we just kept going and going and going.
Chris, there's a lot of guys out there, a lot of ladies and gentlemen that are listening right now here in our last minute.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea what an Italian beef sandwich is because they're not from that part of the country. And, a lot of people tend to think,
Yeah, they tend to think, well, we got this Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Let me tell you something, folks. If you think a Philly cheesesteak sandwich is good, you have no damn clue of what a good sandwich is. The Italian beef sandwich the Italian beef sandwich blows away the Philly cheesesteak all day, every day, and twice on Sunday.
Well, I can explain that to you.
Well, explain it on the other side of the break, because, Chris, we're going to go to break right now for just a few minutes. And, folks, don't go anywhere. We're at Chris Pacelli. He's with us from Al's #1 beef in Chicago and in the world. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus.
The sports world. It's a circus.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas.
Score, put the ball down, give it to the referee. And I don't even care if you slam it down, but you don't have to dance. You don't have to call your mom on the phone. You don't have to go
The Sports Circus is a 1-hour primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC News, and CNBC radio affiliates, plus Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, WOW cable TV affiliates across North America and nationwide in upscale hotels and resorts on hotel television in all 210 Nielsen-rated markets.
Just like a circus.
My life is just a party, and parties weren't meant to last. Dickerson.
Jason Hook, Zarbler from Five Finger Death Punch.
Sidney Justin from The Miracles.
My name is Curtis Blow. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. I'm here on the Sports Circus.
The Sports Circus brings top sports and entertainment content and is delivered fully produced and is easy pass-through traffic for radio stations. Simply drop the program in your traffic manager. The full 59-minute, 50-second file will coordinate with the clock. Your local station receives up to 4 minutes of local avails during the Sports Circus broadcast, and it's a great lead to live sports and entertainment.
Well, if you're going to talk about our congressman being crooked, why not talk about commercial products who don't do what they represent to do?
Yes!
Big Billy here. He certainly knows something about making things difficult on the competition.
He's a punisher. Yeah, just break the ribs.
Yeah,
I still haven't broke someone's collarbone yet in a boxing match.
That's a great statement. I have not broke someone's collarbone in the ring yet.
I've never heard that before.
I can't
Is there a reason you said in the ring?
I can't wait.
Is it that you've broken collarbones just outside of the ring? You did catch that, right? He said in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
So he got him on the curtain. He got him on the edge of the ring and broke his collarbone.
Hey, this is Tommy John, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
I had to get Sal's name right.
Well, Sal the floor sweeper.
That's his new name.
Sal the bookkeeper. Hey,
Yeah, but even my name, even my last name.
Add that one to the bank,
But no, Alicia, you even got my last name wrong. That's why I said my
I know it
colon
starts
was
with a
bleeding.
V. It starts with a V.
He said a V. Really? Quick, where's the punch sound? 400 punches.
Here's the punch sound.
Right, exactly. Look, he almost knocked out the microphone.
Alicia, that's why they have cue cards, baby. That's so don't let the name bother you. Just bring a cue card with you next
But
time.
people can't read my name off a cue card.
Well, change your name to Joe Smith or something. Jeez, make it easy.
This is Sal Tuzzolino, host and ringmaster of the Sports Circus. Why listen to the same old dog and pony show that you've heard all day long? The Sports Circus covers everything that other shows don't or are too scared to cover. There's no primetime show like it on air that'll punch you in the mouth and you'll beg for more. Also, you could call in and participate with our chaos if you dare. Join me and celebrity guests for Havoc and Mayhem. Remember, folks, it's a circus, and we prove it every day.
I want to try to instill some of this winning environment for this particular team. What's been your experience? Kevin, we're going to start with you. What was your experience going from Team A to Team B and bringing that Super Bowl experience to the next team?
They were kind of getting on me, wanting me to chill out a little bit, not play a game on a Wednesday and Thursday. But I always felt that, you got to play at game day speed on Wednesday and Thursday so that you're instinctive and you can play on game day speed on game day.
The Sports Circus is received well on all radio formats and is currently aired on sports, news, and music stations.
Andre Reed.
Mario Andretti.
Herschel Walker.
Blake Firestone.
Mike Haynes.
Jim Jeffco.
Rod Jaworski.
Al Bubba Baker.
Brett Saberhagen.
It's a circus and we prove it every day.
Aaron Fink. Breaking Benjamin. Jason Hartlett. Drummer for rock legend Ted Nugent.
Matt Starr. Drummer for Ace Frehley from Kiss.
Phil Buckman, the bass player in the rock band Fuel.
Hey, brother.
Hey, we know quality content is hard to find, so if you're ready to have the Sports Circus in your market, give us a call right now at 714-948-0100. That's 714-948-0100, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com.
You're watching the Sports Circus, and I am Brian Erlacher.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal here with Rocky and Chris Maselli from Al's Italian Beef in Chicago. Folks, this segment is brought to you by Al's Italian Beef. 9 restaurants throughout the city. They ship all over the country. Make sure you get in touch with them. Hey, what's the phone number so everybody get in touch with you, Chris?
312-226-4017. And if they want to call for shipping, it's an 800 number, and it's 618-0666.
All right, so
or you can go on our website also, too.
All right, Chris, what's the telephone number again? 800 what?
618-0666.
Okay. Got it. Okay, 800
618-0666.
Got it. All right, folks, that's Chris Maselli, Al's Italian Beef. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you also go to the website. And, folks, a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio and our NBC Sports affiliates from coast to coast, including our friends over in Honolulu on NBC Sports 1500 KHKA, in sunny Southern California on our NBC News and CNBC Financial and NBC Sports affiliate KCAA 106.5 FM, 102.3 FM, and 1050 AM right here in Las Vegas, KSHP 1400, home of your Arizona Diamondbacks. In Chicago, WCGO 1590, our Westwood One News affiliate, and on the New York Yankees radio network, WLVL 1340, 105.3 FM, covering the greater Buffalo, Rochester, and Toronto markets as well. All right, so, hey, Chris, now I hear that there is a lot of people tell me about, well, you know, the Philly cheesesteak is a great sandwich, and I'm not complaining, or I'm not saying it's not a great sandwich, but I got to tell you, folks, if you've never put a Philly cheesesteak and an Italian beef sandwich from Chicago side by side, you got to do it. Chris, tell everybody the difference.
Well, the difference is a Philly cheesesteak starts out with a flat piece of meat. He puts it on a grill. He fries it, chops it up, throws cheese whiz on it, throws it on a piece of bread, wraps it up, and hands it to you. The difference is between Italian beef is we cook 30 pounds of roast, and it's in its own juices. It's in a pot, and it's all seasoned and natural garlic. And then we separate the beef from the gravy at the end, cool down the big chunks of meat overnight, bring it out the next day, cut all the fat, all the nerve off of it as much as we could. We cut it so thin you can actually see through it. It's called cooking.
Yes.
That's the difference between frying and cooking.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
What do you like more? And we also have a Chicago cheese. I call it the Chicago cheesesteak. We throw the mozzarella cheese on it, or the American cheese, whatever you want, and we call it the Chicago cheesesteak, just to kid around with people, have a little fun.
Right, that's like the cheesy beef you see in different places around the city, right?
Yeah, well, that's similar. Yeah, so they just take off of Italian beef with cheese on it. That's all it is.
Yeah,
but it's a little. I think it's a little better than the Philly cheesesteak.
Okay,
like
so
you said, it's a fried item.
Right. So, Chris, you have this incredible gravy. You have this incredible beef. Now, there's different ways to order this beef sandwich too. Tell everybody about that.
Well, you can order small, medium, or large to start off with, and the Italian beef is like, do you want to dip? Do you want to dry? Dry meaning they drain the juice a little bit, because this beef sits in its own natural juices in the steam table. And then we pick it up with a fork and we slap it on the bread real fast so it carries all the juice with it. Then you can either have it dipped back into the juice or without that. And then you can put Italian giardiniera on it, which giardiniera to a lot of people, they don't realize what it means. It's vegetables of the garden in Italian. And what
Right.
that is you can either have that sweet hot or whatever, but we have a spicy one. And then we also have sweet peppers, bell peppers, that we put on that if you like that also, that we roast.
So the fact is, I mean, folks, it's basically a meal that you have to really be ready for. Why are we talking about food? Because we can. That's why we're talking about food. Everybody driving home right now is salivating, thinking about the idea, we're going to get one of these sandwiches. I'm all the way out in California or Hawaii or New York. You know, I want a sandwich now. I'm hearing this from this guy, Chris Pacelli from Al's Italian Beef. How the hell do I get one of these? What's the website again?
Well, we do ship you. It's www.L's1ItalianBeef.com.
I can also give you a call at 800-816.
You can call up.
Yep. 800-816-0666 as well. Folks, this is not an infomercial for a restaurant. No, this is really good damn food, and I mean it is good. It's something that every time I go back to Chicago, I'm here in Las Vegas, I go out of my way to get three things. I go to get an Italian beef sandwich, and yours is the place I always go. That's where I saw you last time, right? So I get that. I'll go get myself a really good pizza. Now, I have my preference for pizza. Who's your favorite pizza back in the city?
I like Lou Manotti's. I mean, for a thick pizza. But my favorite is Nancy's. It's a stuffed pizza.
Uh-huh.
And by the time they're done making it, it's about a 5-pound pizza.
Oh, I know. It's a brick. It's incredible.
Yeah, but it's delicious.
It's incredible.
Very juicy, very crispy, the crust. And, you would really enjoy that. It's a stuffed pizza. It's another item that Chicago invented beside the pan pizza that we have.
Right. So I'm a fan of I like Salerno's Pizza over on Grand Avenue.
Yes, they're good too.
Grand and Racine. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Grand Avenue right on Aberdeen there. It's a good place to go. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Then there's Pompeii too, which is on Taylor Street.
Right. See, everybody. See, Chris, here's the thing. People outside of Chicago right now are saying, all right, this is all this good food for back there. Where the hell can I get it here? Of course, you could ship it, but the idea is you got to realize there are certain foods, like if you look at the origin of a deep dish pizza, right? I mean, they did it differently in New York for On the Run, but in Chicago, people didn't have a lot of money. I grew up in a Sicilian house, right? So we ate a lot of soup. We had a ton of soup because that's basically a staple of the diet, right? And our pizza was cut in little squares as well. But we also had, and so we're watching a game. We have little squares of pizza, whatever. It's good. But remember, the deep dish pizza, folks, people eat it with a fork and knife because it was supposed to be a meal and not something you just pick up and walk away with.
This is true. I grew up with thin crust pizza also, and pretty much that's what we knew when we were kids until, we started adventuring, and there was the deep dish pizza.
Right.
Which, by the time I was 14 or 15, we knew what that was also. So, yeah, you're right. The only way to eat it is with a fork and knife.
Yeah.
And it was hard to pick up and be all over the place.
Yeah, Chris, you can't go to a Bears game or a Sox game or a Cubs game or whatever, a Hawks game or a Bulls game, and you can't walk up and down the aisles or in the corridor holding a piece of deep dish pizza in your hand. No. You can't do it. It's a disaster. You got to sit down and eat it like a regular meal. And so here on the Sports Circus, what do? We like to eat pizza. We like to talk about Italian beef. And one other thing that I like to do, when I go back to Chicago, I always go out of my way to get a good cannoli. Got to have a good cannoli.
Oh, yeah, Ferrara Bakery. When we go to Ferrara Bakery over on Taylor near Ogden Avenue.
Yeah.
Very good bakery.
Yeah, now,
and
folks.
There's people popping up around the area, too, with new bakeries.
Well, Chris, for all those people that don't know, and I know people get these around the country. I grew up in Oak Park, about 5 miles away from where you're at, maybe. And the Ferrara Pan factory is in Forest Park. It was a half a mile from my house, right? And so at nighttime, we'd leave the windows open, and we could smell the lemon heads and the atomic fireballs and the jawbreakers. The smell was coming into the window. And, these items are available at, ball games around the country, at candy stores around the country, at drugstores around the country. So in case you've ever seen one of these, like a box of lemon heads, well, folks, he's talking
Chris Pacelli's talking about the Ferrara Bakery that's right down the street from Al's Italian Beef on Taylor Street. Well, that's the same bakery, the same owner as the candy factory right down the road.
Well, that's where they were before they went anywhere.
Exactly. That was the original.
Started everything for them.
Right. And so, it's funny. People get these candies. They'll spend, this makes me laugh, they'll spend $5-10 on a box of lemon heads at a ball game. And when you can go down to the factory, you get a giant box of them for 25 cents.
Well, you know what? It's called necessity.
I know.
And you want it, you pay for it.
I know. Well, you know what's funny, Chris? I hear in the last minute. It's funny because when I was over there, I went to the Ferrara Bakery. When I saw you there, it was a month and a half ago, whatever the hell it was. Anyway, I walk in there, and, they got the candy. Of course, they've got the Ferrara pan candy right at the checkout counter. And I look at the little boxes, and I'm thinking they want $1.50 for this box. I'm like, wait a minute. I just left your factory 2 hours ago, and I just picked up the same box for 10 cents. You're getting it for $1.50 over here? It's unbelievable. But, folks, the bakery is fantastic, and the food's even better. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. Here with Chris Pacelli from Al's Italian Beef in Chicago. Great stuff. I'm getting hungry, Chris. You have to send some out real quick.
Well, you're making me hungry now.
You're killing me over here. You're killing the audience. We're all hungry.
I got to get a sandwich.
I know, exactly. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on the Sports Circus. Back in a few minutes.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
My favorite one had to do with the Green Bay Packers. And I love the fact that they dealt off Ty Montgomery because of a blown assignment. Green Bay isn't Green Bay unless they have a good running game. Then they can win 10 Super Bowls. The fact is, you don't have a running game. You've got 70% passing, and that's not where Aaron Rodgers needs to be. He needs to be in a position where he's got a running game to offset the passing game and so forth. I like the move. Green Bay didn't have a running game anyway, so all they're doing is saying, we're going to get rid of you because you don't follow instructions.
Well, he made one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. They traded him on Tuesday.
They should have cut him on Sunday night.
He shouldn't have been on the plane back to Green Bay.
Right, they should have made him walk back to Green Bay.
No, it was a terrible play. Now, he's not a stupid guy. He went to Stanford. He's not a dumb guy.
He's not a dumb guy, but he doesn't follow instructions.
He made a terrible play.
The fact is he didn't follow instructions. And you say he's not a dumb guy. His own agenda he put ahead of his team.
I agree.
Thus, he is a dumb guy. Right or wrong?
Wrong. He just got selfish. You're not going to convince me that a guy from Stanford's a dum-dum.
No!
Yeah, this is Sidney Justin from the Miracles.
So you heard yesterday's show at Roy Firestone. Did you hear a little clip about him going into the office where Smokey was at? And that was really good material, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really funny, man.
Yeah, and then you heard him.
I thought it was hilarious. It was cool, though. It was cool. Really cool story, man. I enjoyed listening to that.
Right, and then he gave a couple of bars. Can you give us a couple of more from Ooh Baby Baby? And let's see if you could do it better than Roy Firestone. Come on, man!
You know what? Why not? I did you wrong. My heart went out to play, but in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. Hey, I'm crying. Ooh,
incredible.
Is that good enough?
That's incredible.
Fantastic.
You know why? Because that's what you do. You're in the incredible business, Sid. That's awesome. Yes. Only on the Sports Circus. You're going to get sports. You get music.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
This is Tyrone Poole. Work that thing. Two-time Super Bowl champion. You are listening to the Sports Circus with my man, Sal.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, here with Rocky and Chris Maselli of Al's Italian Beef. This segment is brought to you by Cali Vegas, helping people just like you create and host your very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Cali Vegas can help you with everything you need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic every day and host your very own television or talk show in your very own studio. Call Cali Vegas right now at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119, or visit them at CaliVegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com, and tell them the circus sent you. Also, a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio and our NBC Sports affiliates from coast to coast. And folks, we're here with Chris Maselli, owner of Al's Italian Beef, a bunch of them all over Chicagoland. And he ships everywhere around the world. Give him a call. Order some Italian beef right now. Hurry up. 800-816-0666. 800-816-0666. I don't get anything out of this, folks. I'm just telling you because I'm a huge fan, and Chris is a great guy. So how about an extra round of applause for them? All right, Chris. So now you got some other things over there, too. You got some Italian sausage and what else? And make everybody hungry. Come on. They're driving home and starving right now.
We do Italian sausage. We do it on skewers. And we have natural charcoal. There's no, fire grill or nothing. We do natural charcoal. And that's how we cook the Italian sausage, the old-fashioned way.
Right.
And then we also make our own giardiniera. We make our own French fries. We cut them fresh every day and do them like that. And everything in the place is mostly made. The Italian sausage is developed and made under our specs. And like I say, well, I do Vienna hot dogs also, but we don't make them.
Right. You know what I want to know, Chris?
We make them better.
Chris, listen, exactly, right? Everything tastes better on Taylor Street. So here's the one thing that I don't understand. Now, I'm a really, really big supporter of the Chicago White Sox, and every time I walk in there, what do I see? I see Bona Beef. How come I don't see Al's Beef? Al's Beef blows away Bona Beef.
Well, you're right, but you got to understand, Bona Beef, it's like going up against Warren Buffett. They got the money I don't have.
Nah, you got a better product. You got a better product, and you got a voice in the media.
But I need a lot of them gamblers in Las Vegas to involve themselves and invest, and then I'll be even with them.
Right. Well, listen, you got all the casinos up and down Taylor Street in the basements of all those houses too, though.
I'm sorry, what?
I said you've got all those little casinos in the houses up and down the street in the Italian neighborhood there. All the dice games and the poker games and the pinochle games and crap, right?
We're still doing it.
They're still doing it.
The clubs are still on the corners. The old paid American clubs are on almost. There's probably about 5 of them left in our neighborhood there. And then we also go to Bridgeport too. A lot of Italians in Bridgeport.
Well,
paid American club.
Oh, here's the thing. When I go to the ball games, for example, I go to the Sox games. I mean, look, I'm not really a fan of Bona Beef. I know a lot of people like it. But, when you go to the game, you're going to see your favorite team. You want your favorite food. So for me, I would love to see, your beef sandwich there. I'd love to maybe see some Salerno's pizza there. In a perfect world, and I'd like to have a good cannoli served there too. I'd be really happy. But so, folks, when you go see a ball game or whatever it is in Chicagoland, wherever you're at around the country, it's really a different experience than going to see a game at Dodger Stadium or at Angel Stadium or in Arizona or wherever. It doesn't matter. The fact is, the food selection in Chicago is truly second to none. It is really exciting when you get some good neighborhood food. And so if you can't really get the foods that you want right there at your favorite ballpark, at least in a place like that, you can get out of the stadium, and within literally a couple of minutes away, you can have all your favorite foods or all the best foods around. And that's the real sports experience in Chicago, because it's not just what's going on the field or on the court or on the ice, but it's also what's going on in the parking lot and down the street. Chris, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I do. It's a shame that, it's a lot of political. You can't get into these places. We've been trying, and, they're overwhelmed by people with a lot of money and stuff. And, it's the way the world bounces. What are you going to do?
Well,
but we're outside the stadiums.
Right. Yeah, I know. You're not in the confines
not too
of the
far.
stadium. No, you're not. You're not.
Before you go.
Well, that's the idea. And I was just going to say that because, Chris, you'll pay, or not you, but somebody will pay, twice the price for a mediocre sandwich at the ball game instead of paying a single smaller price before you go in or after the game. And frankly, before you go in is better, so you don't blow all your money at the game, right? You go to the game, then you get hungry again, then you come out, boom, and you come back and have another sandwich.
That's how our business grew, too. Because people, before they went to the hockey games, the basketball games, or the Sox games, they stopped by us, they filled up, and if the game was, they ate so much, if the game was boring, they fell asleep. Comfortable, overstuffed.
I know. But, a lot of times, growing up, going to the Sox games, my father would take my sister and I to the game, and then we would, maybe we'd have a sandwich or something before we go in, and then after the game, we'd either do one of two things. We'd either stop at Anderson's. Remember Anderson's, the old shrimp house on Western and the River?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Right. So we'd stop.
On Ashland.
Yeah. We'd stop right there at Anderson's.
Now there's Lawrence's, which is pretty good also.
Right.
But then there's, a lot of people stop for Italian lemonade across the street from me.
Yes. I was just going to say that. They'd come back and get the lemonade.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
How come you don't have the lemonade?
Because Mario always had it. We always had this. We always had the food. He always had the dessert. So we just left it like that. And there's other places trying to copy us. Bona has something similar next to him over on Roosevelt and Oak Park.
Right.
But,
Yeah, they got the Gina's down there, and Gina's that's a local favorite over there. I mean,
Gina's,
with the Italian ice.
Makes their own.
There's Gina's and Johnny's. I like Johnny's on North Avenue. I like Johnny's ice a little bit better. Johnny's beef is good, but that's not a beef next to yours. Tell everybody about Al's Italian beef once again.
Well, like I said, it's made by us on premise. We do it. We make it every day. We get 14-pound roasts. We roast 3 of them in each pan, and we cook it for 3.5 hours. Separate the chunks of meat from the juice, strain out all the spices and everything, and then we cool it off. And within 24 hours, that's being sliced and you're eating it. We trim off all the fat and everything. So it's cut so thin, even if the stuff that I miss, it melts into the hot juices. So when you bite into something, you're never going to eat nothing but pure seasoned beef.
Excellent.
I'll tell you what, man, that's making me really hungry here, Chris. And I'm glad you were able to come on now. Real quick, in the last minute, you have a chance to be voted for the best food character in Chicago. It's a WGN TV poll. Tell everybody, literally in 30 seconds, what that is. We're running out of time.
Well, it was. There's 5 people running for the best restaurant character in Chicago, and it's on WGN TV, and it's Chicago's Best. It's called, and you can vote for me. Just look up WGN Chicago's Best, and you're able to vote for Chris Pacelli. And I also have a nickname. They call me Bones. But you can't vote for Bones. You got to vote for
Bones. It's like having No-Face Tony and Joey Bag of Donuts down the street, too, right?
Well, you know what? My Uncle El's nickname was Baba. And so everybody knew it as Babas back in the old days.
That's great.
There's an old story about that, too, but, you know.
Well, we don't have time for that, Chris.
You're right, I understand.
Well, we're going to bring you back.
Forever, but,
Chris, we're going to bring you back. This was a lot of fun. We're running out of time here. So, folks, make sure you give Chris a call and order some Italian beef. 800-816-0666. Tell them the Sports Circus sent you. Maybe they'll give you a sock in the head. I don't know. Maybe they'll give you a free cannoli or something. Who knows?
Don't go anywhere.
Can't beat fun at the old ballpark, friends. High pop fly. That would be a home run in a phone booth. I don't know what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box? Here's the pitch. That might not sound important to some people, but when you're a little kid, especially from humble origin, and they cheat you out of a prize, there's a bouncing ball. Second baseman has a Barbary over to first. It's hard to think in laudatory terms of the product.
I think if there was an occasional box of Cracker Jacks that found no prizes for the little Harry Carey many years ago.
You got that right. And boy, when a box of Cracker Jack to me meant a lot of money. Here's a pitch, bounce foul. That's the most asinine marketing I've ever heard of. 1 ball, 1 strike. These guys say, well, you sing about Cracker Jack. I said that I only sing it because it's in the song. Here's a pitch, foul back. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, even to this day, some youngsters who buy a box of Cracker Jack don't find a prize in the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Well, if you're going to talk about our congressman being crooked, here's a pitch, foul out of play. Why not talk about commercial products who don't do what they represent to do?
There's a smash to Squires. He's got it. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. We're going to the bottom of the 7th now to score. All tied up. Milwaukee 4, the White Sox 4. Hey! Everybody! All right, Nancy, let me hear you. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back for its root for the White Sox. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
There's a drive. Way back. It might be. It could be. Holy cow! This crowd is wild!
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935. Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes?
All right, break it up.
Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-296-1209. 800-296-1209. That's 800-296-1209.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Greetings, everyone. This is John Detty, drummer from Slayer, Anthrax, Testament, and Volbeat. You're listening to the Sports Circus.
Las Vegas and our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and those watching on hotel television in 650,000 rooms, coast to coast, 198 markets, as well as right here on AMP TV, AAMP.TV. We have a wonderful, exciting, rockin' guest today. Let's go ahead and let him introduce himself.
It's good to be here. My name is Todd Kearns. I'm 6'4". I'm Sagittarius. Is this a dating program? I'm not sure. I play with a guy named Slash from Guns N' Roses in his band Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. And I play in Raiding the Rock Vault, an amazing show here in Las Vegas. I think that's everything. I don't know. It's a long list.
Listen, it's only as long. Listen, it's not like we've gone to commercial break yet, so it's okay. You can take a little bit more time. It doesn't matter. Todd, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here. Good to be here.
Look at all those axes on the back wall.
I know, right? Everyone has a crazy story, of course, as you can imagine. And a lot of stuff is hung up there with them. You can see the Hunter S. Thompson style visor from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas hanging on the Eddie Van Halen guitar there. And back there is an orange Devo jacket, the band Devo. They were selling those jackets, and a friend of mine got me that. But yeah, there's all kinds of nonsense back there, not just guitars.
What about the Devo hat? Did you get the Devo hat as well? You know, they have those, like those construction cone hats.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I've never had one, actually. I really should. Now that you mention it, I am filled with shame for not having that here. I have a lot of other things. I've got this. This helmet might compare. I'm not sure.
What?
Not quite the same, I guess.
Put it on. Let's see it. Put it on.
Yeah, you want to see it on?
Put it on.
Actually,
everybody at home, everybody on the radio, you can't see this, but everybody watching this on TV can. Look at this guy. Now get the guitar out and start playing with that.
I want to do the rest. I got to do the rest of the interview like this. How's that?
That's hilarious.
Oh man, that's
Todd, you've been in the music business for a long time. Hey, look, hurry up, put your hat back on. There you go.
There we go.
You see, at least,
I'm ready.
Look, you've got a bunch of hair. If I take my hat off, look, I'm kind of follically challenged.
No, it looks good. Looks good.
That's all right, man. So look, out of all the years you've been playing, how many years have you been playing, for Christ's sakes?
Well, it's been since I was in junior high, so 1,000 years, I think is a safe estimate. Yeah, it's got to be. I haven't actually done the math on that, but it's got to be something like 30, 35, 40s. I mean, when I say like when I was a teenager, I was playing in like high school dances and talent shows, but playing nonetheless, you know what I mean? The clubs and all that kind of stuff.
Here's the funny thing. These are things that I think of. Okay, fine. So here you've got this guy, and you're a bona fide rock star. And the cool thing is people, oh, what do you think? You're a rock star? In regular conversation, and you're like, well, as a matter of fact, I am. Right?
What's it like being a rock and roll star from Canada versus being one from the United States? How is the rock and roll scene different?
That's interesting that you say that, because I sort of had a whole career in Canada before I came down here. Although I did play in the States I've been playing down here since, we played the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood, like, 1991. Like, the first time I played there was 91. We played the CBGBs in New York City around 93. So I've been kind of, doing the American circuit the entire time. There's a whole, like any country, like Australia or places like that, there are acts in Australia that are very popular there that we're not aware of or not as aware of. So Canada has a similar scene where there can be artists from Canada that are popular there that haven't translated. So that's always interesting to me, sort of to come down here and go, you guys don't know this band? And of course they don't, because it's largely a Canadian entity, you know what I'm saying? So that's been really interesting. And the cool thing for me was coming down here 13, almost 14 years ago. I came down and it was interesting to kind of start from scratch, because I had a whole career and I was respected back home, and then to come here and kind of go, okay, now I'm just Todd, some guy that happens to play music, and it worked out. I landed ass backwards playing with Slash, and that sort of took it to a whole other level. All right. Come on. Living easy, living free. Season ticket on a one-way ride. Asking nothing, leave me be. Taking everything in the sky. Don't need reason, don't need rhyme. There ain't nothing that I'd rather do. Going down, party time. My friends are gonna be there too. I'm on the highway to hell. Highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. Highway to hell. Ooh. Don't stop me. Ow, ow. Highway to hell. Should I smash the guitar?
No, don't smash it. Don't smash it. Todd Kern's rock star.
I have a lot of friends that shaved heads, tattoos on the heads, tattoos on the necks, and it gets, they're basically like they're ready to be cast in any film as the bad guys. You know what I mean? So I understand. And that's why we normally do these things, is to kind of like, I guess, separate from regular society somehow. You know what I mean?
She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories. Everything was expressed in the bright blue sky, sky, sky. Now and then when I see her face, takes me away to that special place. And if I stay on too long, I'll probably break down and cry. Ready? Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
We were in LA recording a record with the Slash guys, and we went to the night. The Kings at the time were in the playoffs, and we just wanted to go and have dinner, watch a game. And we go into the sports bar, and there was 100 TVs, but no hockey. We couldn't figure, like, what's going on? The LA Kings are in the playoffs, and you don't have one of these TVs tuned into the hockey game. So we found a corner, and the guy goes, "Oh, put it on over here." It's like soccer, tennis, like every sport imaginable except hockey. We were like, what is going on? So, but to see it kind of really come to life, I mean, if you would have told me this 10 years ago, in the desert, we're going to have a hockey team. And not only is it going to be a team that really, really shows up and really delivers, there are kids growing up in this town right now who they want to ice skate. We just call it skating, but a lot of my friends in the States call it ice skating. They want to play hockey. It's like everything we did as children, I find my friends' kids here they want to do that. So it's fascinating to see, because 10, 15 years ago, that would have been a non-versation. It would have been like, what are you talking about? That's never going to happen.
And I know I've asked you to go to a couple games with me, because I do have season tickets here for the Vegas Golden Knights. And one of these days, you're actually going to go, when they're playing again, but we'll get to that at another time. But at the end of the day,
Right. I've got great seats, and you know what? One's got your name on it.
Oh, fantastic. That's exciting.
Can't beat that.
And as we wind on down the road, our shadows taller than ourselves. There walks a lady we all know. Shines by light and wants to show. However, things still turns the door. And if you listen very hard, she will come to you at last. When all is wanted, what is all, yeah. To be a rock and that's a roll, yeah.
Woo! I know. My cousins, I've had two cousins play on the Chicago Blackhawks, but I would go see my cousin Sheldon when he played in Anaheim. I'd go see him there a lot because it's closer. But now he's assistant coach now or something crazy like that in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
Yeah, I sent you a picture of him, and
I
you
know.
said you used to babysit that. Beep. Remember that?
I 100%
That would be
did.
Sheldon Brookbank, right?
Yes. And his brother Wade Brookbank is a scout for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, one of our guys, one of our regular hockey guys, also he's an amateur scout for the Hawks, and that's Colin Frazier. He won 3 cups, 1 with the Hawks and 2 with the Kings.
How do you like
So
that?
yeah, small world.
Small indeed. Yeah, no. Crazy.
It's small, unlike my head.
That's going to do it for today's show, folks. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, and we'll see you next time in about 23 hours right here on your favorite station. So until then, so long, everyone. I'm your Ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-296-1209. 800-296-1209. That's 800-296-1209.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. That's 800-298-3173.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more.
800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. That's 800-957-6209.